Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Jawas from Star Wars. Those creepy, glowing-eyed, astromech selling little alien dudes come to us now in 1/6 scale fashion. For the packaging, you got the real nice Star Wars logo right there with Jawa, and then you got an image of the two of them there in the background. You come to the top, it says Star Wars up there, nothing on the side. You can see that it's got that classic kind of the Star Wars packaging with the black and then the kind of gray there. You come around the back and you have that similar style with them in a slightly different pose, and then also the actual hoods are in a little bit different of a position. And then you got a little magnetic kind of clasp here on the side that allows you to open it up, and then you get another image here on the inside, and then you got a window case which fully showcases the figures and their accessories. You also get some silica gel with it. You're not supposed to throw it away, and you're not supposed to eat that stuff, so don't do that. But for the packaging on these little guys, that is about it for it. So without further ado, let's get them out here and see how cool they actually are. Okay, so here we have the Sideshow Collectible Jawa set opened up and out of their packaging. And first off, they do come with this instruction sheet, which really just kind of shows you that there are two different options to display the hood and scarf. I mean, it's really kind of silly. I mean, you can display it really how you want, but this gives you a couple different options. And then it shows you how to turn on the light up eyes, and if necessary, replace the screws. But that's it for the instructions. But overall, a really nice set, and I think that Star Wars fans are going to love having these just because they are very cute, kind of iconic, little, weird aliens, and, kind of help round out just an overall Star Wars display. Now, first for the accessories, there are several different hands. You can see this one right here. I'm going to call this one Bob. Right now I have a trigger hand and then a kind of grasping hand that, as you can see, nicely holds his rifle blaster thing. And then Kevin here, I'm going to call this one Kevin. I just have a couple of just relaxed generic hands on there. They don't really do much of anything. They just kind of hang out there. Now, he does come with, I should say they do come with several other ones. You got a grasping hand, and on the right side you also have one kind of here on the left side as well. You have a kind of right and left, just open, relaxed hands, slightly sculpted differently, but real nice detail on here. You can see some good wear and good paint variation. All of them do come with the little wrist pegs, which is very nice. And then you get another one here with kind of a trigger finger kind of look right here, and then a pointing finger. So you do get some extra hands that you can kind of mix and match and create, your own dynamic sort of look. They also do come with just a regular hand blaster, which does look really very nice. The detail and paint variation on here really does come across very nice. You can see some nice silver kind of wash going throughout there. In general, just some nice sculpted detail throughout the entire thing. You can see some nice vents there towards the top section right there, the barrel, I guess you would say. Really cool kind of how that's a large open barrel. Just overall real nice sculpting on that as well. And then you can see some little darts kind of put on there as well. I mean, that's really kind of cool. They also do come with a Droid Welder. One thing that I'll say is this piece here is supposed to rotate around, but mine is kind of stuck in position. At least the pictures that I've seen have this rotating. I don't know. Oh, there it goes. I'm hoping that it's not actually breaking that or anything. And actually, yeah, it does look like it's kind of stressing that. You can see that is, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to try and put that right back where it's supposed to go. The pictures that I saw, though, show this rotating around, but it doesn't seem to really do it very easily. So I'm going to stop, and I'm just going to put it right back there so that it doesn't break it or anything like that. But real nice detail on there as well. You can see some nice red and green paint up at the top. You got some black and silver along with some gold painted on there. So overall, real nice kind of sculpt on there. But again, I would be extremely careful with this. Like I said, the actual picture showed this little section being rotated around. I don't know necessarily if it actually does it, so be very, very careful. But you can take a hand like this and have him hold it. I mean, you got some wide open hands like that, so you can do something like that, which looks really cool. Again, I wish I could rotate that around, but I'm not going to force anything of that nature, so I'm just going to leave that off to the side. There are also some restraining bolts right here. They are magnetic, so if you have any of their astromech droids or R2-D2 sort of figures, you can use these, which comes in perfectly handy because these are the ones that we're selling, all those different droids and stuff, so it's good to actually have those. There is a droid collar that is actually attached here. You can take this out. Again, again, real nice detail on this as well. Some nice silver and black paint. Good sculpted detail throughout the entire piece. And then you got a little holster bit right here that sits in there just like that. And then obviously you can see that Bob over here is holding the big rifle blaster. So get this out. Again, real nice detail throughout here. You can see that is actually attached to a little battery compartment sort of thing right there, which is really nice and detailed. So just wrap that around, and then you got a really large holster right here with some string detail. I mean, this actually feels like it's leather, which is really nice. And then you can just holster that in there, get that pushed in just like that, and just kind of have that dangle right there. I mean, for display option, that's really cool. You can just have it hanging there, or you can actually have them holding it. So it's a personal preference on what you want for your display, but all those different accessories are there, and they're pretty good accessories. The other things that they come with are some little round display stands. It's very simple. You just got a peg right here. But one thing that I will say that I don't necessarily like about these figures is that a lot of the joints are very, very loose on it. This is actually my second set, and the first one, the legs were completely floppy. Like, they were really, really bad. These ones are a little bit tighter, but are still a little bit loose. But what I will say is that Sideshow is really very good. Their customer service is fantastic. When I had a problem, I sent them a message, and they sent me a replacement right away, which was really very nice of them. So I'm happy to say that this is a much stiffer set, but there are some looseness. I mean, like the joints here are a little bit loose. You come down here, these legs, you can see, I mean, you got the little robes and everything, but for some reason these legs just are really kind of wonky. That's the only way I can really describe it. They always kind of feel like one is longer than the other, and it's just a balancing act trying to get them to actually stand properly. So you can do it, it just takes some finesse to do, and you can see they tend to want to topple backwards. So this comes in very, very handy. You put this on there, it just has a little peg, and that gives some stability to the actual figure, and you can hide it by just putting that around there. I don't know if that's why they intended to include these, you know, display stands, but they really do come in very, very handy. And this one's actually a little bit loose, I mean, or looser I should say. Like you can see, that's really kind of soft and kind of flimsy right there. But in general, I mean, for a display option, they still look really very good. You can get them standing there with that little display stand. You do have to do a little bit of futzing around with it to kind of make sure that you get them standing properly. And like I said, you got the little robes here that allow you to kind of cover things up. So that does help out greatly, and I do appreciate that. In terms of the face, I'm going to show you what a Jawa looks like underneath their mask. That's about it. There's nothing to it. But what's cool is you come around here to the back, and this is where the light up feature is. You flip that switch, and you get very bright eyes, and then when you pull that over like that, I mean, that really does look very, very cool, especially if you have, you know, the hood kind of pulled up over where you don't get any light kind of coming through. I mean, that looks absolutely wicked and very, very cool. I mean, that is how we saw the Jawas, walking around with their eyes glowing like that. That's a classic look for them, and I love the fact that they threw that with these actual figures. I mean, honestly, they just look demonic. I mean, it's really very cool how those actually look. So setting that back there, putting that there. Obviously, the batteries can die, so you do want to be very careful when you're displaying them. You don't want to leave the lights on or anything. For the articulation, they are fairly well articulated. The head here is on a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion. Looks left, right, side to side. In manipulating the head, you will probably mess up the actual hood, so kind of move the head where you want it before you start doing too much stuff, and then kind of keep the hood, you know, more properly attached to it. The shoulders here are on ball joints. Oh, well, no, those aren't ball joints. They're just, you got an armpit joint, and then they hinge up. They also rotate forward and back. There's two joints here at the elbows itself, rotates at the upper part of the bicep. The wrist here, you got a nice rotation, and then it actually pins and hinges forward and back, and then you got like these little tufts of fur. I mean, that real great detail. I mean, the entire outfit looks really great. You got the pouches throughout the whole thing. You got the faux leather. I honestly have no idea why they would be walking around wearing this much clothing on a desert sort of planet, but you know, hey, whatever. You got some nice pouches on this side as well. Really kind of tattered down here at the bottom, which looks great. It gives a very worn and just ragged sort of look. I mean, really very cool. The waist here, you can hear, has a bit of a ball joint that kind of rotates around and then kind of pivots forward and back and side to side. The hips move forward and back, and then again, a little bit loose on those joints, and that's a little bit troublesome. If it's too bad on yours, just contact, you know, Sideshow. Get a replacement. There's no reason when you pay this money, you know, settling for anything. So you got in and out, forward and back, nice range of motion. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. You got 2 joints here at the knee, and then the actual ankles. Get that out of the way. You drop him. You can see pivots forward and back, and then they rotate around as well. So all these joints that you come to expect on these figures definitely here, and a very nice representation. You can see you got an under jacket sort of thing right here as well, so it's nicely layered with the proper, you know, clothing for this. A little smaller of a Jawa. You can see height wise they are a little bit different, so get Bob's arms down and stand him next to Kevin. You can see that there is a difference in the height, which is really nice. And then the suit also here is a little bit different. The outer side is a little very similar. You got the inner kind of robes as well, very sheer on that. The foot definitely has the same kind of look to it, but it's an overall a little bit smaller of a figure. You got the little tufts of fur kind of coming out from the sleeves as well. This one here has the straps and pouches around the chest and shoulders and everything as well, but a little bit different as well. And then you got the little droid collar holster right there. You got a little clip thing right here. I don't know what you would clip on there, maybe clip on in the gun or something. Something like that, I guess. I don't honestly have any idea. Maybe you put the droid collar there or something, or the welder. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what that little clip is for. But in general, really good looking figures. Like I said, there are some problems with them. Oh, and this fell off. There are some problems with them that I would definitely be very cautious about. Oh, that's what it was. That fell out. So you just take this, pull this out, and then this has a little elastic strap that just kind of goes around like that. Then you put the hand back in, just like so. There are definitely things on here that you do want to be very cautious about when you get yours. It's not anything bad, I would say, but yeah, I'm just throwing everything around. But like I said, when you're paying this much money for these collectibles, you want to make sure that you're getting what you paid for. And if your figure does have any of those problems, contact the customer service department over at Sideshow. They should be able to work with you and hopefully get you a replacement in case there are any problems or anything. In general, I think they're good figures. I do think that they round out the collection and, you know, provide a nice display piece for a Star Wars display. I really do like the fact that they made the eyes light up. That's something that they could have easily left out, but really does have an iconic sort of attachment to the Jawa characters themselves. So putting them in these figures, I think, was a wonderful touch. I also like, because you're buying them as a set, they're not exactly the same, you know, in terms of the characters. They are different. You got 2 different outfits basically on them. You got 2 different sizes. Together, really, Bob and Kevin, I think, look great. And I think for the price, you're actually getting a pretty good value. This is a little bit over $200, but you're getting 2 fully articulated figures, several different hands, some accessories. And because they are a little bit smaller than, you know, your standard 1/6 scale figure, even though that these are still 1/6 scale, I think the price nicely reflects what you're getting. So if these little guys are something that you'd be interested in adding to your collection, they are available right now at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow where you can check out availability on these guys, as well as the rest of the 1/6 scale Star Wars figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please like and share it. Also be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review of mine. And as always, until next time, I'll talk to you later.